There, it's Angela Critters. Well, join me in the kitchen today. We're making a Mexican pinto bean soup, and it is so good and easy, and it's chock full of vegetables, and I absolutely love it, and I hope you will too. So to get started, I've already got my 2 cans of pinto beans washed off and drained. I've got 2 small carrots chopped, a can of drained fire roasted tomato. I've got 1 large potato diced, 3 cloves of garlic, and 1 large onion that I'm getting ready to throw into my Dutch oven with medium heat with olive oil in it. So there goes the onion. And I'm going to let the onion cook 4 to 5 minutes until it runs clear. And then for spices, I've got a teaspoon of oregano, red pepper flakes to taste, 2 bay leaves, a little bit of turmeric. I'd say I put in 1/4 teaspoon, and a teaspoon of smoked paprika with a teaspoon of cumin. Because like I said, this is Mexican style pinto bean soup. So let's get started. I'm keeping them stirred up so they won't burn. And they're going to cook about 4 to 5 minutes. They smell great. Still stirring. My pan's a little bit hot, but my onions aren't burning. Just the bottom of the pan's a little brown, but they're fine. I'm not used to my new Overton Dutch oven yet. I keep getting it a little bit too hot. I love this Dutch oven. All right, so let's go ahead and put in our vegetables. Let's add my garlic. I set the timer for the 4 minutes. At my age, I have to remind myself to check things. Okay, so we've got our garlic going in. The diced potatoes going in. Now I've got my 2 small carrots cut up. My can of fire roasted drained tomato. Let me turn my heat back up to medium high. And I'm going to throw in the spices, everything but the bay leaves. Don't go out and buy bay leaves if you don't have any. They're optional. So here are all the spices that I told you about. And as always, I have the directions written in the description so you can make a screenshot of them. So we're just letting all of these spices marry up with the vegetables. There's a big potato I need to cut. I don't know how that happened. And we're going to let this cook for 1 to 2 minutes until it starts to smell really good. As soon as the flavor pops, we know it's ready. Looks like I didn't do a very good job of chopping up my potatoes. About half of them are too big. It's starting to smell good. And you want your potatoes and everything kind of uniformly diced so all the vegetables will get ready at the same time, if possible. And it's not burning because there was moisture in the tomato. The spices smell great. We're expecting cold weather, so I thought soup would be nice. If you try it, you're going to love this soup. Now, I have another pinto bean soup that's not Mexican style, but I wanted the heat today because this has the little red chili pepper flakes. And my other recipe doesn't call for a potato, just carrot and no tomato. So this is really my favorite one to make. When I have the right ingredients, it's the one I go for. It smells great. That means we're ready for the broth. We start with 2 cups of vegetable broth. I've got my Swanson. And then later we keep an eye on it, and if the vegetable broth starts getting absorbed, we can add more. But we start with the 2 cups. We're going to bring this to a boil, and we're going to let this cook up to 10 minutes. We're going to simmer it 10 to 15 minutes with the lid on. Once it comes to a boil. I sure fell down on the job with my potatoes, but it wasn't something I couldn't fix. That's the good thing about cooking. It's very forgiving of mistakes. All right, it's about to boil, and I'm going to put the lid on it and let the Dutch oven do its thing. You don't have to have a Dutch oven. Any pot you have will be fine. I'm just enjoying this new one. So I'm going to bring the temperature down a little bit and go ahead and put the lid on. And I'm going to go ahead and put in my bay leaves. I know not everybody's a fan of bay leaves, but I like them. And since there's oregano in here, bay leaves will be a good addition. All right. Let me set my timer and turn down the soup. And I did put salt and pepper in my spice mix that I had mixed up. I'm checking it every now and then and giving it a little stir, making sure that it's not burning. And my kitchen smells so good. I wish we had smell vision, or whatever you want to call it, on YouTube. And you could smell it. This is a really economical dish if you buy your stuff on sale. I bought my pinto beans on sale for $1, so that's when I decided I'd go ahead and make the soup. I try to always stock up when something's cheap. But this is high protein and fiber, so it hits all the boxes, checks them all off. At the 10-minute mark, my vegetables are a little bit too crisp, so I'm going to go ahead and do it the full 15. All right, now we're going to add in the pintos. It's been 5 extra minutes. They're washed and drained, like I said. I got this recipe from Southern Living years ago. And you could add rotisserie chicken to it if you wanted to. If you wanted more protein, chicken's really good at this, I've always heard. So 10 more minutes, we're going to cook the pintos. I have fallen in love with Famous Dave's original recipe cornbread. I absolutely love it. When it's on sale, I buy 2 or 3 boxes because it costs more than Jiffy, but oh, it's so good. It's like homemade. My Dutch oven is Overmont. I think Overton is a dress label. I just saw it on the lid. It's fantastic. For the price, it's just an incredible Dutch oven. I can't believe I don't know the name. Don't forget to stir occasionally. All right, so now we're going to take out half of the soup, and we're going to use an immersion blender. If you don't have that, you can put it in your real blender, like the one you make margaritas in. So what it'll do is puree the broth and the vegetables together, and you add it back in, and it makes this soup so good. We're going to turn off the heat. You know I love any excuse to pull out a gadget. I love gadgets. If you don't have a blender at all, you could use a whisk and just mash this up with a fork. Look how good it looks. Oh gosh, you're not looking at it. Sorry, y'all. Here we go. Look at that. Oh no. Okay, so let's put it back in. And we have made soup. Mexican pinto bean soup. This is real good with saltine crackers if you don't make cornbread. And let's put the pureed part back in. Ooh, look how pretty it thickened up. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? We're going to put the lid on it and let it just sit here and absorb all the goodness. Meanwhile, go back in and get all of your pureed soup with your spatula. Don't waste this good flavor. I got my little immersion blender on sale at Aldi, and it also chops. My chopper broke, my electric chopper, and so I replaced it with this for just an unbelievable price. I think I got it for like $15. Boy, that's hot. Let me wait a minute and try it again. It needed a little more salt. Gosh, looks so good. It's delicious. You can adjust your spices accordingly if you don't like cumin or something, because the cumin is kind of strong. You could cut it down to half of a teaspoon. But it's a delicious soup, full of fiber and protein. Well, thanks so much for watching, and I'm going to be enjoying this with cornbread later on. Bye-bye.